Hey everybody, today is March 26th, 2021. Today I'm going to talk about my favorite basic ally. So, I asked a lot of people on the Solo Champions Discord and the MCM Discord who their favorite basic ally was and why if I was to feature one in a video, and I thought I'd read some of those awesome responses. So I'm about to butcher some Discord names. I apologize in advance. Hopefully I get a couple of them right, but you can let me know how bad I was in the comments. So Just Me says, for me, it's Mockingbird. She can be played in almost any deck. She is medium cost card. Her stun and then block gives you 2 turns of no taking damage, and then still one, thwart or attack in there, or maybe even 2, depending on how things go. So, really, really awesome ally. Totally agree, but not the one that I'm going to talk about today. Man is Obsolete says it would either be Miles Morales or Mockingbird, with a slight edge to Mockingbird because of their multiple copies of her instead of just one Spider-Man that you get in Wasp's pack. So, Tordek RPG says Nick Fury. He's like the Gandalf of Marvel Champions, which is really cool from Lord of the Rings LCG. He is normally used to buy 3 cards, attack or thwart for 2, and block, but is versatile and the damage or threat removal can help in hard situations. Totally agree. Babycorn elaborates, saying, gotta be Nick Fury for me. Probably now cliche, but draw 3 cards or up to 6 damage in rare occasions. Makes it useful for setting up your hero with various upgrades, and talks about doing a little cheese thing with rapid response to play Nick twice in one turn, setting up huge 8 to 10 card hands in the next round, which sounds really, really fun. Coolman says, seeing the basic condition, they're going to say Ironheart, an effectively 1-cost ally with the ability to cycle is basically Stinger, and we know how good Stinger is in leadership. And Basic doesn't have a lot of cheap allies. Ironheart is in fact the cheapest one, so it definitely gives her a strong case or argument. Doc1FT says, War Machine here. I try to use him as much as possible. I love the tough status for heroes like Hawkeye. He's a great defender. Totally agree. I think tough is way underrated on the hero side, and the more tough we get, the more powerful we're going to see how powerful tough is. I think War Machine's actual ability to ignore retaliate is often ignored as well, which could be strong going into the future. So here, Trace AE says, continuing the trend of basic allies, Miles Morales. Spider-Man, 3 cost to me means things need to happen quick, just like Mockingbird, and with the ability to attack for 4 or thwart for 3 in the first turn, it's very nice. So totally agree, Miles is one of my favorites, and in fact is the one I'm going to talk about. We didn't get a lot of votes for Heimdall or Lockjaw, but still both great allies. We talked about Lockjaw previously, so spoiler alert, we're not going to talk about him, but hopefully we'll get to all these great basic allies soon. But for today, I'm going to agree with Trace AE, Frozen Dice, and Man is Obsolete, and pick Miles Morales Spider-Man to talk all about. So, the card of the day on March 26, 2021 is Spider-Man Miles Morales. He is an awesome 3-cost ally from the Wasp Hero Pack with powerful burst when played from hand. So he's not going to work with tricks like Make the Call and Rapid Response. He's got to come from your hand to the field by playing him to get this boost. But he has a response. After you play Spider-Man from hand, choose thwart or attack. Spider-Man gets +2 to the chosen power until the end of the phase. And phase, that's important. It's just not for his next activation, but that whole phase. 1 thwart, 2 attack basic, but that first turn is going to be 3 thwart or 4 attack, so pretty powerful stat line. Very versatile in that opening turn. Just to pay 3 to do 3 thwart, I mean, that's 1 less thwart than a perfect 4 justice. You're paying effective cost of 4, but the cost on the card is 3. So we'll talk more about that in a video hopefully this weekend where I'm going to talk about effective cost versus printed cost. But moving on with Spider-Man, he doesn't have a ton of combo cards to go with him, actually. He doesn't have the Avengers trait and things like that. He is really good with Power of All of Us, which is packaged with him. And then if you're running him in Leadership, bringing Inspiring Presence and Get Ready lets you get the most out of that +2 stat. If you play Spider-Man from hand and you have 2 Get Readies in hand, you could attack for 12 with Spider-Man in that one turn or thwart for 9. That's crazy good value. So even just having one of those, if you play Spider-Man and thwart for 6 and then block with him, pretty happy with your investment is my guess. But I did want to talk about one super cool combo that I've been playing with Spider-Man, and that is this amazingly crazy Miss Marvel combo. So you're playing Miss Marvel. She's got the Champions trait, which matches Spider-Man. So I'm going to play the Power of All of Us to bring out team building exercise. I can then use team building exercise later in the game, again with the power of all of us, to play Spider-Man. And maybe I even put that power of all of us in the bottom of my deck with a mirror, so I know that I'm going to see it very often. Or once I use Spider-Man, since I can't play him from my discard pile and do all sorts of shenanigans, I could mirror him to the bottom of my deck, so I know exactly where he is. And what's really cool is I can even gather my combo pieces under Bruno. These extra cards are here on accident, but you could be throwing 3 Get Readies under Bruno, which would be a really awesome move to do, because then you get Spider-Man at the bottom of your deck, you play him, you throw those Get Readies into your hand, and you are ready to go kicking butt with your champion friend Spider-Man. So I made a deck list centered around that combo. It's super fun. It doesn't make great use of Embiggen and Shrink from Miss Marvel, but with big hands and Sneak By, she's got plenty of targets for those 2 cards. But it does have great uses for things like Get Ready, Last Stand, and I tried to be as themey as possible. So I've got Ironheart in there, I've got Squirrel Girl in there, I've got Spider-Man and Lockjaw. I went with the basic package, so I brought Mockingbird, Nick Fury, Avengers Mansion, Hellcarrier. Super fun deck. If you haven't played a Miss Marvel Champions deck with team building exercise, go try it out and embiggen your gameplay. It'll be super fun. All right, so rules, goofs, and some other strategy tips. Like we've been saying all along, bring ready effects if you want to get maximum value out of Miles. But even just on his own, he's really great. Just on his own, right, he could be 3 thwart that first turn, 2 attack the next turn, and then a chump block. All of that for that 3 printed cost or 4 effective cost is really, really good. But remember, he must be played from hand to receive that +2 attack bonus. So this was a really fun exercise, seeing what everybody else's favorite basic ally was. If you have a card you would like me to feature as a card of the day in the future, leave it in the comments below. It can be your favorite card. Put it up there and tell me why. It can be a card that just puzzles you, like how would I ever use this card to a good effect? I like challenges like that too. So pick a card for me to cover. I'll make sure I get it into my queue and leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Spider-Man and who your favorite basic ally is as well, so we can continue the trend of debating who that favorite ally is. So thanks for tuning in. That's it for this week. We'll be back on Monday.